She doesn't trust me because she would screw me if she could. That's what I believe. Okay, and I'll be honest, I've thought about screwing her. Okay, so I'm being honest.
The names on the properties were just temporary until we paid it off. And nobody made that decision except for Kody.
Sister Wives Star Meri's decision to tell Kody about Janelle's concerns doesn't necessarily have malice behind it. When she mentioned that Janelle was worried about fairness, she quickly followed up with talk about appraising the land to ensure an equitable split. I think it was Meri's subtle way of sending Kody a quiet but pointed message. Don't even think about trying anything. They're paying attention. It's a strategy that someone like Kody, with his narcissistic tendencies, might actually hear loud and clear. What's really happening here? Meri is sending a message that she and Janelle are in communication. That's probably a little unsettling for Kody, which is why he's always playing that favorite ex-wife game, trying to keep Meri sweet on him. It's a classic move for someone who's got manipulative tendencies. I also think Meri isn't one for direct confrontation, so using Janelle as a kind of buffer made sense. It allowed her to voice concerns without making it look like she was going straight at Kody. It made it harder for him to manipulate her when the pressure was coming from both sides. That scene with Meri and Janelle talking about the CP issues. Yeah, that was clearly meant for public consumption. Janelle even dropped the "might need a lawyer" line in her talking head, which was about as subtle as a brick. There was no sneaky tattling going on. This wasn't some private gossip between them. Meri and Janelle are both divorced from Kody now, and all that's left to sort out is the financial mess. Sure, there might be some leftover emotional baggage, but that wasn't what was driving Janelle's visit. If Meri was the only one getting financially screwed, I seriously doubt Janelle would have said a word. This wasn't about friendship, it was about business. Janelle, being the avoidant one, wasn't getting any answers from Kody, so she turned to Meri for help. Meri's directness, which is usually a bit too blunt for most people, was exactly what Janelle needed to put pressure on Kody and get the financial sorted out. When Janelle failed on her own, Plan B was to get Meri involved. Smart move, really. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. In Season 2, Episode 3 of The Price of Polygamy, Robyn on camera goes off on Ysabel for taking food from her pantry. This was supposed to be a snack, not a meal. She snaps as if Ysabel is committing some major crime. Ysabel, completely unbothered, calmly responds, "But I like cereal." Robyn, apparently unwilling to let her have the cereal, snatches the bowl away, and the clip ends. It's honestly a bit heartbreaking, especially when you consider Janelle's comments this season. She's mentioned a few times now that her kids were yelled at for trying to get food from Robyn's kitchen. Robyn even said, "They don't see me as a mom, they see me as a stepmom." And honestly, if she truly saw herself as a mother figure, a good one wouldn't be denying her kids access to food. It's not even just a random thought. I've seen this behavior before. My own stepmother had a weird defensiveness when it came to kids in the kitchen, and it really brought back memories of my own childhood. I just can't help but feel for Ysabel, knowing everything she went through growing up. Her family didn't know about her health issues at the time, and who knows if she was dealing with her migraines back then too. But really, it's just cereal. Why make a big deal out of it? And let's not forget that the OG wives literally helped Robyn out by paying off a huge chunk of her debt. If anyone should be generous about something as simple as a bowl of cereal, it's her. But no, Robyn just can't seem to show any kindness or consideration for the OG kids. Seriously, has she ever done anything thoughtful or selfless for them? I can't think of a single instance. And based on how she acted with her own kids, yelling Aurora at the top of her lungs in earlier seasons, she probably has her issues with food and boundaries with them too. It's just all so awful. Oh, Robyn said Meri can't be manipulated. Honestly, I almost punched my screen when I heard that in her confessional. Meri has always been manipulated, 7 seasons of it to be exact. The entire storyline has been a masterclass in how easy it is to manipulate her. #catfish, anyone? This is exactly why people can't stand Robyn. She spouts nonsense that directly contradicts the actual footage we've seen, filmed, edited, and aired for us all to watch. If Robyn would just own up to the truth, even when it doesn't paint her in the best light, people might actually start liking her. But no, she's allergic to honesty and self-reflection, which are pretty admirable qualities, by the way, if only she had them. One day, Robyn's going to realize she's been on camera this whole time, and she's going to be furious. Imagine the meltdown. Lol. Robyn's a terrible liar, though. She makes these statements that are so easy to debunk. She's been playing Meri for years, telling her to hold on, while turning around and telling Kody to break up with her, then saying Meri needs to leave him. Classic manipulation. Robyn spends money like a person who's just discovered it exists. It's like someone who grew up with nothing and finally got a taste of the good life. And now they can't stop indulging. The idea of owning stuff, lots of it, seems to make her feel like she's really made it. Meanwhile, Kody's got this delusional idea that every extravagant purchase is an investment for the future, because why not, right? Maybe someday he'll sell those overpriced prints for a fortune. Spoiler alert. They'll be lucky to get 5% of what he paid for them. But Maddie, she isn't buying into the fantasy. She's been around long enough to know that following Kody's financial advice is a one-way ticket to disaster. The family has never, and I mean never, made a smart financial decision in all the years we've watched them. But somehow, Robyn saw $, when she met Kody. It's kind of wild when you think about it. She was living in an unheated trailer with her kids during her first marriage, and now she's in a McMansion. For someone who's supposedly won at life, she sure complains like she's the biggest loser in the group. For most of us who grew up in polygamy, poverty was the only constant. We didn't have the luxuries, or often even the basic necessities, and were told to focus on building our mansions in heaven for all the sacrifices we were making. Sure, there were always a few who were better off, but they loved to flaunt it, making everyone else feel even poorer. So when we did get any sort of riches, it was a total dopamine rush to show it off, especially to those who spent years judging us for being broke. But here's the thing. Spending money can become an addiction when you've never had it. It's like a desperate need to prove you're relevant to the world. To everyone else, you're living the dream. But within your own family, you're a walking joke, lost and scrambling for meaning. They blow money like they've never seen it before. And if Kody really does have NPD, then of course, he's convinced he knows exactly what he's doing, despite having no idea. He'll buy things thinking they're gold mines, when really they're just overpriced nonsense. But sure, he's technically right about one thing. The property values went up, and they managed to sell it for more than they paid. So they got a decent chunk of change after paying off the mortgage. But that was then. Now, their mortgage is twice as large as before. Why? Because for them, spending money isn't about being smart. It's about the high it gives them. It makes them feel important, like they finally arrived. Too bad it's all just a game of smoke and mirrors. Remember when they were trying to get to Vegas? Been rewatching from the beginning. Remember when they were trying to get to Vegas, and they went through tire after tire after tire. Kody finally said maybe it was a sign this was a bad idea, but kept on going. Can't help but wonder what would have happened if they never even went to Vegas. Just feel like that was the beginning of the end. It's just crazy to me how much that man has changed. Buying 4 houses together back then in Utah would have been way cheaper. They'd be paid off by now and worth quite a bit. Maybe a small boutique called Sister Wives Closet would have actually taken off within an actual Mormon community. But moving is something else for Kody. It's definitely not about logic, finances, or the betterment of his family. It's about restlessness. He's chasing the distraction, a new chapter feeling something. B2 when they picked out those plots in Vegas. They're either in or right outside of Summerlin. It's arguably the nicest community within Vegas. It's even where all the big celebrities buy estates. Copperfield, Celine Dion, etc. I know they had new TLC money, but it's crazy to think they were approved. Oh, remember when they were all gung-ho about getting to Vegas? I've been rewatching from the start, and it's wild to think back to that time. They kept blowing through tire after tire, and then Kody finally said, maybe this is a sign that this whole thing is a bad idea. But of course, he kept going. I can't help but wonder what would have happened if they'd never gone to Vegas at all. Feels like that was the point of no return. It's crazy to see how much he's changed since then. Buying 4 houses together in Utah back then would have been way cheaper. They'd be paid off by now, and they'd probably be worth a lot more. Heck, maybe even a little shop called Sister Wife's Closet could have actually worked out in a Mormon community. But moving? Yeah, that's a whole different story for Kody. It's not about logic, finances, or what's best for the family. It's about that itch, chasing some new chapter, the next shiny distraction. Who knows? By the way, when they picked those plots in Vegas, they ended up in or right near Summerlin. It's the fancy part of Vegas, where all the big celebrities buy estates. David Copperfield, Celine Dion, all the big names. I get it, they had TLC money by then, but it's pretty wild that they got approved to live there. I know, what ifs are a total waste of time. But because I can't resist the urge to dive into pointless curiosity. I often wonder how things would have turned out differently for the family if certain events hadn't unfolded. My personal favorite? What if they stayed in Vegas? It's bizarre that Kody once sat the wives down for some ridiculous presentation about why they had to leave Vegas. Fast forward to now, and apparently Vegas was the one place he actually felt safe and has nothing but happy memories. Well, that's just fantastic, isn't it? Makes me think Robyn probably pushed for the move and Kody just followed along because, she's his favorite. But seriously, if they'd stayed in Vegas, do you think they'd still be together as a family? Here's the thing. They were already in Flagstaff when coronavirus hit, living separately and further apart. If they'd stayed in Vegas and moved into the cul-de-sac, it would have been so much harder for Kody to just hang out at Robyn's place. They could have had family get-togethers, seen the wives and kids more often. Sure, Christine and Janelle still would have wanted to travel, but I doubt Kody would have become so estranged from the kids the way he has now. Gabe went 8 months without seeing Kody. No way that would have flown in the cul-de-sac, but Flagstaff? Perfect for Kody and Robyn to avoid everyone, and I'm convinced they took full advantage of that. What if Meri never legally divorced Kody? What if they never got the TV show? What if Kody never met Robyn? Feel free to add your own what ifs. But honestly, Christine was miserable for a long time. She probably would have left anyway, but Flagstaff just sped up the process. Kody would have still been holed up at Robyn's house most of the time. The wives might have been financially better off too, since they wouldn't have had to sacrifice their share of the Vegas house sale to support Kody and Robyn's fancy Flagstaff house. It would have fallen apart regardless, just a matter of when. My theory? The adult kids were the real catalysts in all of this. They modeled healthy, monogamous relationships and had the audacity to ask their mothers why they stuck around with a guy like Kody. Things weren't better in Vegas, and Christine admitted in therapy that Kody was always at Robyn's. Janelle agrees. I have no doubt Kody would have used coronavirus as his excuse to avoid seeing his other kids, just like he did with Garrison and Sybil, who needed surgery. He'd still be hiding behind the protect Robyn's kids excuse. Here's a fun what if to add to the list. What if one of Robyn's kids needed surgery during coronavirus? What if Aurora had worked outside the house, saving up for her own place, and didn't want to move out? Yeah, imagine that mess. Kody was absolutely flaunting his forearms in the last episode, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't by accident. I mean, he knows Meri's weakness. Those forearms are her favorite part of his body. So what does he do? He puts on a short-sleeved shirt and spends the whole time coming up with excuses to lift his arms and rest them on the table. You don't even need to look hard to see it. It's like he's practically showing off. I'm convinced it wasn't just a coincidence. He knows exactly what he's doing, trying to keep Meri hooked with a little arm flex here and there. You never tried to have a really good relationship with these people, Kody. Is anyone else just waiting for someone to hit Kody with this line the next time he goes on about how he and Robyn got voted out of the club? Because, let's be honest, the irony is chef's kiss. Kody said this to Christine during his knife in the kidneys speech, as if he's the epitome of healthy relationships. Meanwhile, Christine has managed to hold onto solid family ties, and the family continues to gather around her. On the other hand, 90% of the family doesn't even want to be in the same room as Kody and Robyn. They didn't put in the effort to nurture those relationships, and it shows. Honestly, why is no one just coming out and calling it like it is? Why are they all tiptoeing around the truth? Here's the real story. Kody spent all his time with Robyn and her kids. Whatever Robyn wanted, Kody handed it over like it was nothing. Robyn badmouths the OG kids and their moms to Kody so he wouldn't want to be around them. The family's resources basically all went to Robyn and her kids. Robyn was all too happy to spill private info from her sister wives to Kody, trying to turn him against them. She actively discouraged him from spending time with his own kids. And let's not forget how Kody and Robyn blew through what was supposed to be family money, only to ask Janelle and Meri to pay off land so they could buy a $2 million house with family money. And I could seriously go on and on, but Kody? On camera, he's happily throwing the OG wives under the bus, insulting them like some petulant child. So why are these women just sitting there, passively letting him get away with it? It's enough to drive anyone insane. Do you really believe Savannah didn't want Kody at her graduation? Or was that decision really made by Janelle and Christine? Well, let's be real here. Kody is a consistently disappointing father, but there's always been the occasional glimmer of hope from his kids, like Isabel, who still wanted a relationship with him. But when Janelle said Savannah doesn't really interact with her dad, it's clear that Savannah doesn't seem all that interested in having him around. The big question is, was this Savannah's choice, or did Janelle make it for her? I really hope it was Savannah's decision, because that would mean she's choosing her peace over forced appearances. If it were Janelle making the call, it would feel a bit like a parent deciding what's best for their kid without considering their actual wants. Honestly, I think Janelle's kids, especially Savannah, have been deeply hurt by Kody's neglect over the years. I can only imagine the kind of conversations Savannah, Gabe, and Garrison were having in private. At a certain point, if your dad can't even pick up the phone on Christmas or your birthday, it's hard to justify inviting him to anything, especially when he only shows up for the cameras. I wouldn't be surprised if Savannah was like, why bother? He's never there when it matters. I don't think Janelle would have made that decision without consulting Savannah, but let's face it, she probably would have been more than happy to take the heat if it came down to it, especially with Robyn and Kody inevitably spinning it as some big family rejection. But the truth is, it's not about being voted off the family island. It's about Kody not showing up for his kids when it really counts. We've seen how angry Janelle's kids are with Kody. There's been no shortage of on-camera discussions about their frustration. They've made it clear they aren't interested in rebuilding anything unless Kody actually puts in the effort first. And let's be honest, some of them are probably done for good. If Savannah's on the same page, I wouldn't be shocked. Meanwhile, Christine's kids are still holding out hope that Kody will have some magical transformation into the loving dad they always wanted him to be. I could see Christine stepping in to make decisions for her kids if she had the chance, but Janelle? She's way too respectful of her kids' feelings to dictate that kind of thing. If Savannah didn't want Kody at her graduation, I'm betting it was her decision, and Janelle would have just supported it. At the end of the day, it's not about drama or exclusion. It's about Savannah not wanting to deal with a situation where her dad shows up only when the cameras are rolling. That's a lot to expect from any kid. Unpopular opinion time. Meri's glow-up is the best one on the show. Seriously, I'm loving her new look and vibe. She's clearly thriving, and it's refreshing to see her moving on in such a positive direction. No shade to the other OGs. Don't get me wrong, they look great too. But Meri, she's absolutely come alive. I mean, no wonder he was having some thoughts when he helped her move, right? Now, I've been watching this show from the very beginning. I'm talking about the first time TLC aired those promos, when I naively thought it was about three sisters married to the same guy. Ah, the good old days. Meri was my favorite then, though I couldn't exactly put my finger on why. I just liked her. But as time went on, my favorites shifted. Christine and Janelle quickly took the top spots. Nowadays, Janelle's my number one. As for Robyn, when she first came on the scene, I wasn't super invested either way. She was fine, a bit insecure and weepy, but nothing to write home about. Then, around season 11, things started changing. By season 16, I could barely watch her anymore. Her behavior was so triggering that I ended up quitting the show entirely. Two specific scenes in season 16 were enough to push me over the edge, and I actually created a Reddit account just to vent about it on this subreddit. Now, I mostly stick to YouTube clips and catching up through the subreddit, but even then, watching Robyn can be a lot, and I find myself needing breaks to calm down. Anyway, I didn't mean for this to turn into a novel, but the point is, this season's Meri is reminding me of the Meri I first liked all those years ago. Sure, all the adults have their flaws, but it's hard not to root for her. I really hope she's finding the peace she truly deserves. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.